Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and I'm going to be doing a Crusadia deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an amazing going second OTK deck that can easily go in for game with its awesome boss monster, Crusadia Max. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can come for our notification squad, and definitely check the Patreon in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Crusadia Maximus. Maximus is definitely a 3-of in the build, and all of your Crusadia monsters share a common effect, that you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position to your zone a link monster points to. But you can only special summon each Crusadia monster once per turn this way. Now, this card is an awesome ability that lets you target a Crusadia link monster that you control, and this turn, if it battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage inflicts to your opponent is doubled. Also, other monsters you control cannot attack, which is a great ability to be able to use with your copy of Max, which will already be massive, and then doing double damage with your copy of Maximus is amazing. We then play 3 copies of Leonis. Leonis is really good as a 3-of in the deck because this card is a really cool ability to let you do piercing damage, which is absolutely amazing with your link monster. We then play 3 copies of Draco. Draco is definitely a 3-of combo piece in the deck. This card has the ability, if this card is normal or special summon to a zone a link monster points to, you can actually target a Crusadia card in the graveyard and add it back to your hand, which is a really cool ability to recover the exact card you need out of the graveyard. We then play 3 copies of Arborea. Arborea is definitely a 3-of as well in the deck, just to be able to play additional names to special summon out to your side of the field. But this card is a really cool ability. If a Crusadia monster you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you manage this card from the field or grave instead, which is a great effect. We then play 3 copies of Reclusia. Reclusia is really good as a 3-of in the build. This card works similar to Scrap Dragon, with the ability, if this card is normal or special summon to his own link monster points to, you can actually target a Crusadia card you control and a card your opponent controls and destroy them, which is a great effect to be able to pop a card on the field so we can go in for game. We then play 3 copies of Parallel XZ. Parallel XZ is definitely a 3-of in the build to be able to instantly special summon out to your side of the field, as if this card is special summoned by the effect of Parallel XZ, its level becomes 4 and its original attack and defense is half, and if you link summon, you can special summon this card from your hand to a zone link monster points to, and then special summon an additional Parallel XZ from your deck to your side of the field, getting you 2 monsters out on your side of the field, which is amazing to help you link climb into the exact boss monster you need. We then play 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. Since this is a going second deck, we've got to play one of the best board breakers ever created, Fenrir. This card is a cyber dragon that instantly special summons itself to your side of the field. If you don't control a monster, you can add another copy of itself from your deck to your hand off its own effect, and also Aspire moves cards off the field, which is absolutely amazing. This card is definitely a 3-of in the build and such a powerful card to be able to play in this deck. We then play 2 copies of the Thunder King Kaiju. Kaijus are amazing in this build to give us a safe attack target into our copy of Max, so we can basically swing in for game. And this card is amazing because basically Max will gain the attack points of the monsters it points to, so this card being 3,300 is amazing to give the opponent to give us a big boost for our copy of Max, while also adding a boss monster opponent might control. We then play a single copy of Dolgaran. Dolgaran's also a really good option in the deck to be able to play. And then we play 2 copies of Gamma Steel just in case we need to hand our opponent a small kaiju. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is definitely a 1-of in the build to bring back a monster to your side of the field so you can keep link climbing into your copy of your Max. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is really good as a 1-of the deck to make sure that we're not going to get hand trapped while we're going in for all of our plays. We play a single copy of Instant Fusion for the exact same reason. We play Instant Fusion in the deck as a 1-of to be able to summon out our copy of Millenniumize Restrict to our side of the field, so we can basically protect ourselves from a hand trap because it will negate a monster effect, just like Called by the Grave. We then play a single copy of Crusadia Power. Power is definitely a one of the deck, letting you target a Crusadia monster you control, and that Crusadia monster is unaffected by card effects this turn except its own, giving you a little bit of protection for your boss monster. We then play a single copy of Testament. Testament is really cool in the deck, but I feel like you really only need a single copy of this card. This card lets you activate one of these effects, that your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your Crusadia monster's effects this turn, or after damage calculation, if your Crusadia Link monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can draw cards equal to that monster's Link rating, meaning usually we're going to draw upwards of 3 cards off this card's effect, which is amazing. We then play a single copy of Revival. Revival is an awesome field spell in the deck, but you only need a single copy of this card. This card makes so all Crusadia Link monsters on the field gain 500 attack points, and also once per turn, you can target Crusadia Link monster you control. And this turn, even if this card leaves the field, that monster can attack all monster your opponent controls once each, and also other monsters that you control cannot attack, which is not that big of a deal, as usually we're just using equal max to swing in for game anyways. We then play 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. Triple Tactics Talent is really cool as a 2 build to either let us draw 2, take control of an opponent's monster, or look at our opponent's hand and choose a card from it and shuffle in the deck, dealing with a hand trap. But amazing about this card is being able to take control of an opponent's monster, so we can use it to link climb into our boss monsters. We then play a single copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. This is a going second deck, so Harpy's Feather Duster is necessary in the build to basically just deal with your opponent's back row, along with 2 copies of Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is really good in the build as a 2-up. Basically activate this card first to bait out anything that your opponent might be playing, to deal with all their attacks to monsters, or destroy all their spells and traps in the back row, which is just amazing, and I love that about this card. We then play 3 copies of Raigeki, bringing it real with the LOB original card. This card is really cool in the deck as a 3-up to basically just deal with all your opponent's monsters, so we can swing in for game with a really big boss monster. And this card is just so classic, coming out of LOB as an original print, which is just so cool. I do have the secret rares in this build, but it's just an amazing card that it's still good even though it was released in the very first set. And it's just amazing to be able to drop this card against the opponent and destroy all their monsters on the field, so we can swing in for a game with our big boss monsters. This card is so good in the deck, and I've won so many games by just dropping a Raigeki against them and destroying their monsters because nobody expects this card. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with our main boss monster, Equal Max. This card is definitely a 2-up in the build, just an awesome boss monster you'll make. As a gains attack equal to the combined original attack of all monsters this card points to, and monsters this card points to cannot attack. Also, once per turn, quick effect, you can tribute a Crusadia or a World Legacy monster this card points to, and then target a face-up card that your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of the turn. But this card is amazing because it gets absolutely massive, as it gains the attack points of the monsters it points to, making this card get absolutely massive so we can swing in the game, especially when you have your copy of Maximus and Leonis basically pointing to this card so that you can give it double piercing damage. And then play a single copy of Spatha. Spatha is just a good option in the deck, which is why I play this card as a 1-up. And then play 2 copies of Regulus. Regulus is really good as a 3-up or 2-up in the deck because this card has a really cool ability that it gains attack equal to the combined original attack of all monsters this card points to, and monsters this card points to cannot attack. And if that monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can actually add a Crusadia spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is going to help you grab the exact card you need to be able to go in for game. You then play 3 copies of Magius. Magius is definitely a 3-up because this is basically our combo starter for the deck because this card is actually a Link 1. This card has the ability to gain attack equal to the original attack of the monsters this card points to, and the monster this card points to cannot attack. And when an effect monster is special summoned to the zone this card points to, you actually get to add a Crusadia monster from your deck to your hand, so you can special summon it to your side of the field, and then once you do, you'll be able to link them both away for your copy of Regulax, and then climb to your copy of Equal Max, which is amazing. We then play a single copy of mekk-knight Crusadia Avermax. This card is really good as a boss monster. It's super defensive. It's really a big tank to be able to summon to your side of the field, and it's hard for your opponent to deal with this card, which is why I play this card as a 1-of in the build. And if you don't OTK your opponent with your copy of Equal Max, you just make this card to basically outlast them with this card. And play a single copy of Access Code. Access Code is just a really big boss monster that you can basically just summon out to your side of the field, pop multiple cards on the field and help you go in for game. I usually just make this card if I need to pop multiple cards on the field. Play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff, one copy of SP Little Knight. You don't have to play this card if you don't have it. It's just a good option. If you don't have this card, you can easily change it out for a copy of Bagooska or Nightmare Phoenix if you want to instead, but it is a really good option if you do have it. You can play a single copy of IP Masquerena. IP is great in the deck as a 1-of to be able to step into SP Little Knight or your copy of Unicorn during the opponent's turn. You can play a single copy of Number 60. Number 60 is amazing in this build as a 1-of because it can double the attack of a monster, let you draw 2 and discard a card, or use this card as a monster reborn, which is amazing. And it's very easy to use your copy of Paraloxy to make this card. We can play a single copy of Millennium Eyes Restrict for our 1-of instant fusion target to be able to summon out to our side of the field to basically just stop hand traps. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Crusadia deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's super fun to be able to play. It's absolutely amazing how crazy it is to be able to OTK the opponent, and it's just a really fun budget deck. Besides the copy of SP Little Knight, which can be changed out for Nightmare Phoenix or Bagooska. So that's going to be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell and there so you can come part of notification squad. And we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.